Today is Module 3, Lesson 5, and I think that if we continue to use the charts, that you'll find it very, very easy to subtract fractions. The first one is 1/3 minus 1/4 on the problem set. And you do this just like addition. The only difference is that it's exact opposite because you're subtracting. So what's the first thing I'm going to draw on my graph paper below? Okay, so we're going to look at our denominator. Then it's 3 and 4, so I'm going to go over 3 and down 4. And how many fractions am I working with? How many fractions am I working with? You'll be on the right page. Turn the page. Yeah, well, you got to try to find it, though. Okay, I'm working with 2 fractions, so how many boxes am I going to make? Sit right there. 2. I have 2 fractions that I'm working with. Number 1, don't forget to sign in. So I'm going to make 2 boxes. Over 3, down 4, same exact size. So I'm going to say this one's my thirds, and this one's my fourths. And how many thirds do I have colored in? 1. I'm going to have 1/3 colored in. Remember, we've been just doing it by putting dots. And how many fourths am I going to have colored in? 1. You guys notice something about our dots?
Well, in the 1/3, they're going down 4, but then in the 1/4, they're going across 3.
Exactly. So if you look at it, I have 1/3 here in the first one with 4 dots going down. And then across on the fourths, I have 4 boxes, but with 3 dots going across. That's another way you can remember it to make sure you're doing it correctly. But now the question is, how do we subtract this from that? How do you think we're going to subtract it?
You're going to take 1 dot out of the box and subtract it out of the other box.
Okay.
Out of the first box.
So that we already have everything drawn in. What's the next step we should always do? After we plot all of our dots, what should we do with our lines?
Make them.
Okay, so you said we're going to take the dots out of the second one and put them in the first one? Oh, subtract them from the first one. So however many dots we have over here, we're going to take out of this one over here. So how many dots do we have in the second box? 3. So we're going to go to the first one, and we're going to get rid of how many dots? So 1, 2, 3. If it confuses you to use your finger, you could put an X in each one that you just went through so that you can look back through and count. You could do that. So how many dots do I have left? I have 1 dot left out of how many total? It's pretty easy, isn't it? So you have 1/12. 1/3 minus 1/4 equals let's try the next problem. 2/3 minus 1/2. Go ahead and start working it out. I'm going to walk around and make sure you're doing it correctly. You have something on your paper when I come around. Okay, as I was walking around, I think pretty much every single person had it except maybe a couple. So let's go over this. 2/3, so we're going to go over how many boxes? 3 boxes and down 2 minus, we're going to do the same exact, 3 boxes over and 2 down. Then we're going to divide this into thirds, divide this one in half. How many thirds do I have? 2, so there's 1/3 and there's 2/3. There's 2 dots in each box. And how many halves do I have? 1/2. So, what's my next step? What's the next thing I need to do?
You need to draw the boxes and have a line across and then a line across.
Okay, so finish my boxes. Then what do I do?
Well, I was just going to say that when you take them away, you always do 2/3, taking away 1/2. And I got a little confused because I could see myself taking this. I could see myself doing 1/2, trying to take away 2/3. So just really take it away from the first box.
Yep, you're going to take it out of the first one. In fact, that's why the other day when we did addition, do you remember that, how I changed it up and I said you're going to take the dots and add them to the first box? That way you're used to anything you do, it's going to just happen in that first box.
It's just like a regular subtraction
Mm-hmm.
problem.
It's like I have 4, and I'm going to take away 3. At least there's 1. So then you look at the second box. How many dots do I have? 3. You could even do it this way. Write the numbers underneath. How many are in my first box? 4. You could write it out. 4 minus 3 equals 1 out of how many total? Or you could do, I have 3 in this one. I'm going to cross out 3 in this one. And that leaves me with 1 out of 6. Let me look at the word problems and see if they might be a challenge. And if not, I'm going to let you guys use this the rest of this time to work. On the first word problem, said Robin used 1/4 pound of butter to make a cake. Afterwards, she had 5/8 pound left. How much butter did she have at first? Don't forget the tape diagram. So this is the whole stick of butter right here. That's the whole stick of butter. Said she used a 1/4 pound of butter to make the cake. That's how much she used. Now she has this much left. How much did she have at first? So your job is going to be to figure out how much total. Now I hope that you're taking the time to write this down in your book because this is your homework assignment and I'm going to count that as part of your grade. The tape diagram. So write it in your book. And the next one, you're just going to solve it. Make sure you write. On the Robin one. There's only 2. So get that written down, and all of homework pages, the 2 pages, is your assignment for tonight, and you have the rest of the time to work on it. I'm sure you'll be able to finish it, and you won't have homework.
That works. I already did lesson 5.